Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM. And in this one, we're going to cover WESS, W-E-S-S, or short for Workbooks Exchange Server Sync. So if you've been using Workbooks for a number of years now, you might be on an older technology, which we refer to as WOC, the Workbooks Outlook Connector. And we are gradually swapping over our customers to the newer, superior WESS technology. If you started with Workbooks in the last few years, it's likely that you're on WESS already. So still, this session will be of relevance to you to cover the capabilities of WESS. So we're going to cover and show you WESS in a bit more detail and explain the benefits of it. So hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and I'm joined by my colleague Stuart Lawrenson-Hind, and our company, WESS Systems, we're a leading independent CRM solutions provider of solutions like Workbooks, and we help out organizations use simple and affordable solutions to help with their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. So thanks for those of you joining us live. Those of you on here live, you've got a question concerning what we're talking about, WOC, WESS, or Outlook integration generally, then pop that into the question box on your meeting control panel, and we'll do our best to answer those. Your microphone is on mute, as you would have been informed, those who joined live. So pop your questions into there. Well, let me just pass over to my colleague, Stuart, and he'll take us through the ins and outs of WESS.
So I'll give you the briefest of overviews into how the Outlook link looks and behaves, and we'll then show it in action. As Tim mentioned, the Outlook link was designed to replace the outdated Workbooks Outlook Connector, or WOC for short. The WOC was installed by a user, it had to be configured by each user, and it had other limitations such as you had to have an installed version of Outlook, so a desktop version. Obviously, not every company has access to this. The WOC wasn't instant sync. It ran on a process. You could only link emails and view calendar records that have been shared with you. And it was only compatible with the Windows version of Outlook. So Mac users dipped out and had to rely on the Workbooks email Dropbox feature. So, okay. On screen, you can, this is my Outlook. I've got no email selected, so the Outlook link isn't open. So if I click on the first email to get things moving, I'm going to pick this one where the record doesn't exist. Now, this is my email, and you see on the right-hand side, the little Workbooks icon. If I click on it, it will open up. And I've done this deliberately so you can see it. What I would suggest is that you pin the Outlook link into your Outlook. And this is done by clicking on that little pin icon that you see at the top there. A quick tip for you. In the Windows versions of the Outlook link, the map pin will change direction. As you can see, unpinned, pinned, to show that it's been pinned open. The Mac version of the Outlook link, the pin will turn blue to show that it's been pinned. As I said, I've got the Outlook version, so my map pin points down. So what can we see? I've received an email from a person whose email address does not exist in my Workbooks CRM. So I've got three options, though two will have more chance of being used. The first option is I can just save it. I can just save that email into the system and it just saves it. But you'll notice the email is just linked to the email. It's not linked to anything else. And if I went into the landing page for emails in Workbooks, it would just show as an email. So probably not the best option to use. The better option will be dependent on how you deal with this type of email. The Outlook link offers two suggestions: create a new person or create a new sales lead. And as I said, how you deal with this is down to your process. If I go down the sales lead route, I'm presented with the following. As with Workbooks itself, the bold line next to lead person's name is telling me this is a required field. I can go through this and complete this as I see fit. I can enter relevant details. This person's name is obviously me, so I can start typing. Once I start typing, you'll see the create button arrive, and this will create this lead in my Workbooks CRM. So I'll close this for now, and we'll have a look at the other route. Click on person. And you see it's a very, very similar pop-up that you get. Again, I can complete the fields that I may know, and obviously you can pull some of this information from the incoming email. By default, it is assigned to the person who received the email. Again, I can click the drop-down. When I'm happy, I click create and send it on its way. Very, very simple, and that's how it deals with the Outlook link deals with an email from an unknown email address. So let's close that, and I'll switch to an email where it does guess the record. And straight away, the Outlook link has gone into the system and retrieved the contact details for me. You'll also see that there are 3 drop-down boxes for the field below, and these are related items to that record. So for this record, we've got an organization, a case, and there's been a previous email. So if I just want to save this email against the record, I just need to click on either save or link item. If I click link item, the system will confirm that this email has been linked to the email tab of that record in Workbooks. So now it's on there for everybody to see. But I can see the body of the email relates to one of our support cases. So if I check the Outlook link, there is an open case. Doesn't say much in there. It's obviously just the name of the case. So let's dig a little deeper by clicking on it. And now I can see that it matches the conversation, object reference 77176. So I'll link this email to this support case. So it's not only on the customer record, it's on the case record as well. And again, I'll link it. Again, it switches to unlink. But the email also says that the case has been closed. That would be brilliant. So I can see here that the current status is awaiting customer response. Well, the customer has responded. So if I click on this little drop down, I can go down to closed, click done, save the record. So not only have I linked the email to the customer record in the CRM, but I've also linked the email to the open case that's stored against that record in the system as well. So very quick, very easy, but that's incoming email. What about sending an email? Is that just as easy? Now to show this working, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to close the Outlook link so you can see it working from scratch. So I'll go over to new and click on new mail. And I'll reopen the Outlook link. You can actually see what it's going to ask. So even before I type the email, it's now saying add recipients to see related Workbooks CRM records. So if I start typing this record that I knew in the system, which was this Gruffy account, and wait, the link has gone into the CRM and confirmed there is a record here. So all I do now, even before I've started typing it, I can link this outgoing email to this record just by clicking link item. I haven't even sent it yet. I can complete typing the message. And send it on its merry way. When I send it, it's gone. That email is linked to the record without ever going into Workbooks to do it. The Outlook link spotted that it was a record and set it up for me. So that's linking. So what else can we do? So if we open the Outlook link again with this record that existed, I mentioned about what else we can do. We saw that there's an organization. We saw that there was a case and we linked the email to it, and there's a meeting. So let's just dig a little deeper into what we can do. Let's expand the organization. and I click on this, and again, you can see these pencils. So without opening Workbooks, I can update or amend a field in this organization. I'm going to update the industry field. Click on the pencil. I'm going to say that this one is media and entertainment. I click done to close the box, and as before, the save box arrives. Click save. All the boxes are updated for me. I can click on the X to go back to the main screen, and that's done. I can then file that email away in my little dealt with box to say that email's been dealt with, and I have a nice and clean inbox. Right, that's linking. So the Exchange Sync also handles the calendar. There isn't much I can show here, as it's all done through the back end rather than through the link itself. But you do need the Exchange Sync integration, as Tim referred to it, of the WESS, in order for this to work. And I've got an example. So I created a meeting in Workbooks, and it's this one here. If I expand it, it gives me all the information. I prefer to do this in Workbooks because there are a lot of fields I can use to update the information regarding this meeting. I don't have to do anything. I just created the meeting in Workbooks and saved and closed. That's it. However, if I go into Outlook over here, the same meeting exists. Again, I didn't press anything. I just created the meeting, related it to a record in Workbooks, and it stops me having to duplicate the work. So if we open the meeting here and expand, we can see the meeting. Again, doesn't look like much, but the add-in is here. If I click on the add-in, it will go into the Workbooks for me, find the meeting, find the organization, and find the person it relates to. So it keeps everything clean, and I don't have to duplicate my work, which I'm a big fan of not duplicating. So that's the meeting, that's the calendar. And so you can see that the main idea of this is to show, to a certain extent, it's possible to almost run your Workbooks from Outlook. Now, it won't give you dashboards or reports, but by using the link to look after your inbox and your calendar, you can cut down on the need to keep switching the apps to get the main body of your work done. And there you go, a quick look at how the Outlook link, along with the Exchange Sync, handles the emails and the calendar.
Thanks very much, Stuart. And hopefully you can see that WESS is superior technology. It's centrally based, taken away from the user. It does more things. You can see all of that lovely Workbooks information from within Outlook if you tend to live in Outlook a little bit more in your workday. A much better system. So we are now WOC and WESS, they are the same cost. It's the same subscription. If you are on WOC, we are gradually moving you over to WESS. We will inform you about this. It won't be invisible in the background. You'll know what's going on. So we'll be liaising with you over the coming months, 2024, to transition you from the older WOC to WESS if you are on this older WOC technology. Right, we are ready for some questions. Just before we do that, just a little bit more information about Wizard Systems. So a long-standing provider of CRM solutions, we've been doing a long time. And as regards Workbooks, we provide any kind of service you want around Workbooks, provision the product, implementation, customization, training, and all the ongoing help desk support so you get the most out of your investment. Right, so questions. So Stuart, I think there's a question from John. I'm not sure John missed the first or some of the stuff we were talking about, but John says or asks, in WOC, we could not create records, but now we can, ? With WESS. So I guess that's, the brand new email coming in and then creating a record in Workbooks.
Yes, well, I showed how to link the incoming email. If it was an email that didn't match a record, you saw how the add-in gave you the option of making a person, which obviously would then allow you to make an organization or a sales lead. What you can also do inside the Outlook link itself is without the email, you can make, there's a little plus symbol, and if you click on that, you can make an organization, a person, a sales lead, an opportunity, a case, or a task without going into the CRM. So as I alluded to at the end, you can get an awful lot of your CRM work done using the Outlook link.
Okay, question from Kira. What's the frequency of the sync?
Oh, good question. Right, this is a clever one. If you link an email to an object, so as you saw me link it to a case, that's instant. The email to record, so if you link an email just to the record and you want it to appear on the email tab of the record, that does run on the sync, and I believe it runs every 10 minutes, and that's controlled by the WESS itself, and it doesn't run it much quicker than that, so it doesn't overload your Exchange. However, there is an icon at the top of the Outlook link, which is like the recycle button, and if you press that, you can force a sync. But the system will stop you doing that every single time. The system knows that you've pressed sync, so it won't let you press sync again.
Okay. Ellen is asking, will the Outlook link work if I'm using the Workbooks mobile app?
Oh, good question. Right. Yes, this is one of the big features of the Outlook link over the Outlook connector. Because it's centrally deployed by your IT department through the WESS, it will open up in whatever version of Outlook you have. So as I mentioned, Workbooks for Windows, Workbooks for Mac, and it will work in the mobile version of Outlook. So if you've got Outlook on your phone or Outlook on your tablet and you open it, you will see, as it's been deployed to your account, the Workbooks W, and when you open an email, you'll be able to open the Outlook link and deal with it just as you did on your desktop.
Okay. I think there's a follow-up question from Kira. Can you change that sync frequency?
No, I don't believe you can. As I said, you can force it. So if you really need to get a message linked to an email so that perhaps a colleague can read that email so it can be dealt with, you can force the sync. But failing that, I think it's been set at 10 so that you don't overload your Exchange server.
Okay, question from Laura. How do we get the Workbooks link into our Outlook?
Oh, right. A bit of a nerdy question or nerdy answer coming up. The Outlook link is deployed by the WESS. So as part of the process that your Workbooks administrator will go through with someone from Wizard or someone from Workbooks, when you decide what contacts are going to use the Outlook link through the WESS, you'll be added to this list inside the WESS. This will push the Outlook link to your 365 account, and next time you open Outlook, you'll see that the Outlook link has just been added. No installation, all pushed, all deployed centrally, as they call it.
All right, might be another techie type question coming up. Question from Rebecca. I'm unsure if our employees, our users, are using the add new person in close commas. Are they using the add new person functionality? Full stop. Is it possible to find out how many people records have been created by WESS by adding a filter on the landing page view -- creating a report? And if so, what field would we need to use for this? You got that, Stuart?
Yeah, it'd be quite a clever one, because if you want to find it for every single person, secretly in the background, it uses the same functionality as the Workbooks Dropbox. So it assigns a value to the record. So it might be possible to search for people where they were created by the Dropbox. Now, it sounds an odd answer, but that might be the best way to find out how people are, who are creating records manually and who are creating them through the Outlook link.
Okay, Rebecca, just come back to our support if there's any more follow-up questions on that. Be happy to help you. Jane, what happens if the email is linked to more than one organization? Oh, this is a good one. What happens if the email is linked to more than one organization? Can you select which organization to attach it to? So one email, more than one org.
Yes, the system will show you. So, for instance, Stuart at Wizard Systems, would be a good one. So, if I was a consultant, I work for 3 or 4 companies, and I think you're alluding to the fact that the email right refer to company A rather than company B. Although it will suggest that the email is linked to Stuart at Wizard, at the top of the Outlook link, there's a search box. If you type the record that you want to link it to, so just type in ABC Limited, for example, ABC's record will arrive on screen, and you can click the link item and associate that email with that record and not the record of the email address that it belongs to.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Jane. I don't think there's any more questions, Stuart. There's a good bunch of questions there. Right, so just to wrap things up, you're on 7.2 now, current release of Workbooks. So we just covered WESS replacing WOC. We will be, those of our customers that are on the older WOC, we will be contacting you, not immediately, but in due course, to logistically arrange the changeover to the better WESS. And if you've got any ideas for future topic suggestions, please contact any of us at Wizard Systems about Workbooks Wednesday or Workbooks 101. Something that you think would be of interest to the wider Workbooks community there. And yeah, be happy to hear from you. So let me just thank you, those of you on here live. Stuart and I thank you for listening to us, watching us, and we'll catch up with you on the next event. Bye-bye.